Hey guys, this is Kaijin Hunter. After 350 hours, I am still hooked on Monster Hunter Rise, and I can't wait for update 3.0. So, in order to kill time before that, of course I should be working on guides, I thought it'd be fun to do a tier list up through 2.0 for my favorite monsters and Yoona's as well. Please do keep in mind that this list is 3000% subjective. This is not me saying whether it's a good monster or a bad monster. This is me telling you how I feel about them in terms of just overall. Do I like them in the game? Do I like fighting them? And this will obviously differ on personal preference, weapon choice, and stuff like that. So don't feel bad if a monster you love is low on my chart or vice versa. So starting down with the lower rank, I will put in the C tier. There's nothing that's a D, which would be kind of like a meh type of monster. C are all decent. B for me is sort of like, okay, it's a good monster. A are monsters that I like and I wouldn't mind just going on random hunts against. S monsters are monsters I really enjoyed, and SS are like the stars, the superstars. I love these monsters. So nothing in the D. I'm happy with all the monsters in this game. For C, unfortunately, this always happens, but the Great Baggy, Great Roggy, Kuluyaku are just, they're fun, they're cute. I like their designs, especially Kuluyaku. But as a fight, they're early monsters, right? So they're not that horribly memorable. So I put them down in C. Juratotus, I like him a lot more than his implementation in World. That being said, it's not a monster that I like to go and hunt all the time. It doesn't have really nice hit zones, and when you do wail on it, it just sort of flails there. So, but I do love its armor. It has awesome armor in this game. For the B rank tier, again, these are monsters that are like, yeah, they're pretty good. We've got Anjanath, Barroth, Puke, Rathian, Royal Ludroth, Arzuros, Kezu, Volvidon, and Great Izuchi. Now the reason why I'm putting Great Izuchi one rank above the other sort of beginner monsters is because I think it does a really good job as an intro monster. It only has a few attacks, like it does a little claw at you, it does a jump, and it does a tail slam. It telegraphs him really well, and I think it's a fantastic monster for people to start out on. So I'm going to definitely give it there. And then, of course, Arzuros, I also like the new moves they gave him, and he's just adorable. For the A tier, these are monsters I really liked. Of course, we've got Basil. Now, I was debating putting Basil in the S tier. I don't know why I did not do that. Maybe that was a mistake, maybe not. But Basil I like. I've always loved this monster. Maybe it's just I've been on too many rooms where everyone's using slicing spam. I don't know. I just haven't had a lot of really good one-on-one fights with him yet. So I'm sure he'll go up to S as I play it more. Rathalos, I generally do not typically enjoy fighting in the games, but for this one, they really gave him a bunch of new moves, and I love what they did, so I put him in A. Acnosum, I love the design of this monster. Can't wait to see if they ever do a subspecies for it. Barroth would be normally a B because he jumps all over the place and can be a little annoying, but if you're using something like the Lance or anything that can counter, he's quite fun. Basarios, I'm going to give an A, even though he kind of belongs in the B category, just for the fact that I like how they redid the monster. He used to be pretty boring in previous games, but they've added in some new things, some new moves, and I love that, you know, he has really bad hit zones normally, but when he gets red hot, that's like your chance. But he's also very dangerous then, so I love that high risk, high reward factor. Bishaten, if I was rating this on Rampage, I'd give it an F. Just because it is the most annoying monster in a Rampage. But for normal fights, I like the monster. It's actually quite fun and very unique. Love the way that it throws fruits at you. You can pick them up and chuck them right back at it. Super unique fight. And of course, I love Lagombi, so I'm going to put Lagombi in A. So for S, for the monsters that I really enjoyed, and these are ones that I will just go on random hunts on just for the heck of it, is going to be Apex Mizutsune and Apex Arzuros and Apex... Gosh, almost all the Apexes. Rathian and Rathalos. I can't wait to fight Apex Rathalos in a normal quest though. There is a good chance he might move up to SS once I get the opportunity. Tetranodon, because the thing is just awesome. It's so cute. It's interesting. I love its moves. Samnikanth, again, just a very unique design. I love how it swims like an otter, like on its back. Just the moves, the huge sort of cloth on its head. It's just very cool. Gossarraga was a sleeper hit for me. It's like, I call him the grandpa, but he's like a really aggressive, almost like an Arzuros. So I very much enjoy that fight. Nargacuga is back to its sort of old world roots and feels very fun to hunt. Mizutsune, of course, got to put it up there in the S. It's one of my favorite monsters. I love monsters that charge at you, unlike my daughter, which you'll see. So Diablos and Tigrex get up there. Tobi Kadachi, I love how they remade the monster and made it more aggressive and more dangerous. Very fun hunt. Zinogre's always been one of my favorites. I've beat hunted a lot in like Monster Hunter 4 and 4U. I used it for a lot of tutorials and stuff. Rakna Kadaki, love this monster, especially when she clings to the ceiling and does like flamethrowers. Whoever just said like, let's make a spider, and instead of being weak to fire, let's make her breathe fire. Like, that's a great concept. Rajang for coming back to its old world roots and feeling much more fair. Of course, this is only high rank, so it's pretty easy. So I'm very, very interested to fight it in sort of like G rank, master rank. That'll be fun. Ibushi might get up into the SS category, but we haven't fought it outside of a rampage. And during the rampage, it just gets like locked in crazy because we're using the counter signal, and by that point, we're at like, you know, 700% damage up. So we can headlock him pretty easy, but he's a cool monster. I love the design and I love the moves. I can't wait to fight him outside of a rampage. Hopefully we'll get that with 3.0. And Kusara Daora, I like. I play the Insect Glaive a lot against the monster. I heavily enjoy it, and there's just something very satisfying about breaking that head. And I do love that they brought back the poison mechanic, so you can poison it so that it will lessen its wind effects. For the SS Superstar, I love this tier to death, is Almadron. It's my favorite new monster from this game so far. Almadron, I know a lot of people might find annoying to hunt. I was kind of surprised to see how much hate it got, but I absolutely adore the monster. I find it pretty easy to hunt, and there's nothing better than when it picks up like a bowling ball in its tail and slams it at people. That's just so cool. Magnamalo, I mean, I don't like its drop rates for the purple orb because it's just mean, but the monster fight is absolutely fantastic. We've talked about Magnamalo before, so I won't go too much in detail. Narwa I adore as well. Me and Yoona have hunted this monster many times. It's much more of like an event quest. I don't think it's designed to be hard. It's just sort of like an intro to the monster, so I'm very interested to see what we might get in 3.0. But the hunt as it is now is just awesome, and I can't believe they pull off all these crazy effects on the Switch. Chameleos is like the best atmospheric hunt in the game, period. The music's great, the monster's adorable, the fog effects are really well done. It just feels completely different from every other monster. So definitely one of my favorites. Teostra's always been one of my favorites, and they changed him up quite a bit. They made it very clear where the explosions are going to happen, but they placed them all in ways that keep him challenging, but also, if you know the monster, the same spots that were there in past games are pretty much still there. So I was able to transfer my knowledge of the monster from previous games and adapt, and I thought that was really fun. And of course, Apex Diablos, you know, Bloodbath Diablos is my favorite monster. When I get to face the scene outside of a rampage, it might go up to SSS tier, I don't know. I'm very excited. Anyways, that is my tier list. Now let's look at Yoona's. Okay, so this is Yoona's tier list, quite different from mine. She is bona fide veteran hunter at this point. She's put in almost 300 hours in Rise. I think it's like 280. And obviously we played over 250 hours of Iceborne, so she's got over 500 hours in the franchise, so she's really good. And she plays half the weapons, but her playstyle and her favorites are very different from mine. The same type of thinking behind what the categories mean applies here, because I told her that was what the criteria was. She actually has two monsters in the D category. So these are monsters she would rather not hunt. She doesn't enjoy them at all. First one is Barroth. She just finds it all. She's the opposite of me. I love monsters that charge at you and are really aggressive. She hates it because they're always interrupting her, and she just doesn't like feeling like she's chasing down a monster. She doesn't like whiffing with her true charge slash when she's using the great sword and stuff like that, so she just doesn't like them. She can handle them fine though, but Barroth, unfortunately, because it's not a hugely memorable monster, I guess, and because it's annoying, it got in D, and she can't stand Kushala. That was way back in Iceborne as well. She felt the same. Even with all the improvements, which are big, she still does not enjoy the monster. There's just something about You know, and some people it's weird. It's like they can't handle Teostra. There's just something about the monster that just gets them. That's her bane is Kushala. So I don't know. Maybe one day she'll turn around, but she's only hunted 3 of it, and she's convinced that she won't hunt it again. For her C category, these are monsters that are kind of forgettable, are ones that she wouldn't necessarily want to go hunt. She would groan if I said let's go. Are of course the Chargers. So, you know, Anjanath, Basarios, Diablos, Tigrex, Volvidon. Again, you see the theme here of monsters moving around or charging at you. She's not a fan. She loves all the monsters as like characters though. Her B category, she put the Apex Diablos because it's in a rampage, it's a little bit easier to handle, and she thinks the design is really cool. Who knows how she'll feel about that thing in a solo quest, probably won't like it. Apex Rathalos because it's got really flashy moves. Barroth she loves as a monster, but as a fight it jumps around quite a bit, so she put it in the B category. Baggy she didn't have any particular comments on, same with Izuchi and Ragi and Juratotus. She's like, yeah, they're fine. As far as Kezu's concerned, she's always liked Kezu, it's a fine monster, same with Kuliyaku, and Rathalos she put there as well. For the monsters that she likes, these are ones where I said, hey, you want to go hunt this one? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. We've got Actisum for his uniqueness. Almadron she also likes very much as well, so I'm lucky. The 2 of us can go on Almadron hunts and just have fun. The Apex Arzuros because Arzuros is adorable. Apex Rathian because she likes the monster. Regular Arzuros. Bishaten, even though she shares the sentiment about Rampage. Lagombi, Narga, Rajang, Rathian, Ludroth, Teostra, Tetranodon, and Zinogre. Her S tier monsters, these are ones that she really likes, is Abes Mizutsune, because Mizutsune is the monster that got her into Monster Hunter. Basil Geese, she loves Basil, loves the theme song, so she definitely loves it. It's funny because she doesn't like monsters that charge at you, but monsters that fly from above and drop bombs on you, totally fine. She shares all the same sentiments about Chameleos being awesome and cute. We have a pet lizard, a leopard gecko, so we have great love and affinity towards lizards, so of course she was going to love it. Gossarraga she adores, she thinks it's super cute. Magnamalo, Puke Puke, I think she really likes Puke Puke more even after she did the Witcher quest in Iceborne. It's just something very adorable that she's emotionally attached to with this monster. The fight itself is pretty easy. Rakna Kadaki she's liked since day 1, same with Samnikanth, and Toby was one of her favorites from World, and she really loves it in Rise. Her SS tier for monsters that she absolutely is in love with right now, of course, is Mizutsune, which is a monster that got her into the game, and the final 2, Narwa and Ibushi. However, she does note that she just cannot wait to fight, hopefully, Ibushi outside of her rampage, because she's kind of tired of rampages at this point. We've done like over 50. I've done a lot more, but she loves Narwa. She actually just the other day, this is the first time she's ever hunted a monster 100 times. And so she told me on the 99th, she says, okay, next one is my 100th Narwa. Let's do it naked. Let's take off all armor and charms and let's go in with no defense, no skills. And so we did. I botched the first run. I actually died 3 times to like the same attack because I was just being stupid. But then I switched over to her greatsword and we did it no problem on the second attempt. So that was really fun and quite memorable as well. Anyways, those are our tier lists and how we feel about the monsters personally. Just given our preferences and our weapon types. Hopefully you found it interesting, and I'm sure it's different from yours. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy hunting.